My name is Scott Dillon. I'm someone who had the good fortune to know and work with Chris. Chris and I were hired by the Eugene Police Department in 1998. We've been told statistically about 2 people out of each hire group won't make it past our probationary period. There were 2 of us. We were nervous. Over the past 13 years, Chris and I worked together on a lot of different patrol teams. We eventually ended up on the traffic enforcement unit together and have been there for the past 6 years. Somewhere in the middle of all that, we were on the Eugene Police Benevolent Association together, and Chris was good at getting people together. He could organize a pretty mean Christmas party and an annual summer picnic. Aside from working with Chris, I was honored to call him my friend. I wasn't Chris's only friend, though. I mean, far from it. If you look at all the people in here today, I was going to get into some of Chris's nicknames, but I think my esteemed colleague here is going to touch on that. So I'll just say, I usually call him Christopher, JC, or 1 Mary 18. Chris had a way of making all of his friends feel like they were his best friend, even Risco here and me. He did that in a lot of ways. He would drop anything he was doing to help his friends. He was always willing to try some new adventure first and then kind of let us learn from his mistakes. He and Christy decided to build a house a few years ago, and Chris and I did a lot of wiring and flooring in that house and learned a great deal from it, so he was kind enough to come over and help me when it was our turn. After we got his house stuff done, he was gracious enough not to bitch about it if I made a mistake. If I did, I don't know, he probably just went back and redid about 80% of the stuff I'd done for him. Chris had lots of loves in his life. When I first met Chris, he loved radio broadcasting and his truck Barney over here. He quickly grew to love being a police officer. That can be really hard to do at times, but Chris did it with a smile, and he was good at it. On the way here today, we took Chris by a few places that were significant to him. We went by Autzen Stadium, where he had worked numerous football games, and big surprise, talked to a lot of people there. We went down 105, which is significant in several ways. Chris worked out on 105 a lot. We went by a spot on the Jefferson Street Bridge where he had quite literally talked a suicidal person out of jumping off of the bridge several years ago. We went by the Eugene Skin Diver Supply Shop. He loved diving. We went by Central Lane 911 where he had a lot of friends. He was one of those people that would just go in there and sit down and talk to people, get to know them. People out there loved him, and he loved them. We also made it by Dutch Bros and a Starbucks, the Eugene Police Department, and a burrito stand. Buddy, I couldn't find a bean and cheese for you. We got you a chicken one. I hope that's okay. We did get green sauce. Somewhere around 10 years ago, he introduced me to Christy and Sydney. Pretty quickly became obvious that these 2 ladies won a special place in Chris's heart. Chris somehow tricked Christy to marrying him. He started coming to work telling us jokes he learned from Sydney. Do you know what a fish says when it runs into a wall? Damn. 4 years ago, Katie was born. Chris's smile was huge. Probably could have seen it from space. I was a little bit peeved because I wasn't seeing a whole lot of Chris outside of work anymore, and he was always in a hurry to get home. It was never a mystery to understand why. He loved to go camping with Jerry, John, Sam, and their families. Loved to scuba dive over at the Oregon Coast Aquarium and more tropical places. I regret never taking him up on an offer to go diving with him. It just always seemed like there would be a next time. Christy, Sydney, and Katie. Chris loved you more than you can imagine. He was so proud of you. He talked about you every day at work. There was never any doubt that you were his first priority. You were his world. Chris's parents and grandparents, thank you so much for raising Chris into the person he was. You should be proud. I was proud to know him and call him my friend. Chris, you put in a time off request for one of this year's football games. As far as I know, it got denied. You better show up.
Hi. I'm only going to take a couple minutes of your time, frankly, because that's all they allotted me.
I went over. You can too.
Scott went over. My name is John Risco. I'm a police officer with the City of Eugene, specifically the Traffic Enforcement Unit. I was Chris's partner. Excuse me. But not like partner as in, hey, we're in Eugene, you want to be my partner? More like in, hey, you're assigned to that guy. So that's how we became friends. It was only about 2 weeks ago that my family went with Samu's family and Chris's family to the Oregon coast. It was a typical coast weekend in which it rained a lot. And it was then that I learned from Sydney and from Allie that each and every time someone might cuss at the weather, I owed a quarter. Well, it turned out that I owed the quarter most of the time. So what I'm hoping is that I can get out of here under $5. Sid, I brought some quarters for you. So with that, I want to say if I offend any kids, I apologize. If I offend any adults in the room, tough shit. There's a quarter for you, Sid. In professions like police, the military, athletics, and I'll even say, even like fire, there's a special bond, a fraternity between the people that work there involved in that thing. And when you become involved in that bond, what happens is you tend to get a nickname. So the more nicknames you have, the better off you are. Now, I know there's probably people in this room, probably command staff, that don't think they have any nicknames. I gotta tell you, you are totally screwed. I'll give that one to you too, Sid.
Do you need a loan?
Huh?
Do you need a loan?
No. I'm gonna get out of here under $5. And hopefully a job. Now, Chris had some nicknames. And I can't tell you about them. People here who know what those nicknames are, they'll know those stories. I just wasn't allotted enough time to tell you all the stories. But I'm going to read a few. Friss, Jigs, Kilcullen, Silver and Gold, Pigpen, Gaff, Dork, Dumb Shit, CK, John Charles King, 248, Gaffosaurus, Butt Munch, Susie Girl, Chatty Catty. With that, Chris was a chatty catty. He was always a rule number one violator, and I don't know if anybody knows what a rule number one violator is, but I'll tell you so you all know. If you talk to it, it will talk back. Which brings me to bridge builder. He wanted to tear down fences, build more bridges. Fag. Cam Cullen, Cam Armstrong. He started taking up bike riding and wore those little bike shorts. 314, ODOT, big time. LDB, ADD, Little Drummer Boy, Bum Hunter, not a border collie. Plum smuggler. That's back to those bike shorts. Flake. Cheapskate. Radio guy. Tight ass. Scam artist. That's a good one because I overheard him talking to his doctor wanting a prescription for a hot tub. Work wife. Bitch. Tightwad. Chicken rancher. Chicken shit. Bee wrangler. Because if you say beekeeper, it doesn't sound as rich. If you have 60,000 head, you can be a wrangler. Christopher. Marry 18. And die, buddy. Now, when I was spot on with the derogatory comment, which was most of the time, Chris would just laugh and say, "John, you dick." But I'll tell you, the one name that I had for him, I'm most proud of, but I'm most ashamed of because I never said it. Best friend. Rest in peace, bitch. Count them up.
You made a haul, Sidney.